Hey everyone, it's Tony Traguardo here, and in the past number of weeks I had been doing a program called Hoopla Diaries, talking about all the great things available on the Hoopla streaming service through the Port Washington Public Library. Now, not to take anything away from Hoopla, but it's time to move away from just focusing on that particular service when there are so many other great services available, both directly through the library and also just in general online. Databases where you can find great entertainment, great reading, great music, great videos, etc. So, with that in mind, we're now moving over to digital diaries. And I'm going to start this week by talking about one of the things that are available through RBdigitall. Now, if you go to the library's website at pwpl.org, and you're going to want to click on Books and More to get you into some of the databases. And particularly in this instance, if you click on Movies and TV, that's one of the ways to get you to get into RBdigitall. You can also go in through magazines, through comics, because that's a lot of what you're going to find on RBdigitall in particular. So go into RBdigitall through the library site. Get yourself set up with an account if you don't have one using your library card. And where I'm going to point you this week is once you are in RBdigitall, you're going to want to look around for a particular service on RBdigitall called Qello. And it's Qello. Yeah, I know, it's a Q with no U, but that's how they roll. So you're going to want to go into Qello, and Qello is for people who enjoy music, enjoy concerts. Qello is a mind-blowing service. When you go into Qello, you can basically enroll yourself and you get a 7-day pass, which you can continually renew. You don't have limitations. Jump on Qello and you will just be stunned by what comes up. And I'm going to basically talk to you about a couple of things. Qello is through a company called Stingray, and it is, and claims to be, and I definitely think it is, the largest collection online of full-length concerts and music documentaries. You stream on demand, you click and bring up what you want to watch, you click play, and you're good to go. And one of the things that I recommend you do is when you get into Qello, click on the magnifying glass on the left-hand side, your typical search magnifying glass. And you'll get a list of film genres and different musical styles, or film styles and musical genres. It really depends on how you look at it. Anyway, what I want to tell you about is a couple of things that I found there that were just incredible views. The first few items I'm going to look at, I can only classify as being classic rock bands caught at their peaks of performance power. The first one that hit me right between the eyes was Queen, recorded live at the Rainbow Theatre in England in 1974. If you're a Queen fan and you have never seen this, you owe it to yourself. There are so many documentaries, musical docs, and just concert films of the band caught live in the 80s. There's Queen Rocks Montreal, and that's a dynamic, tremendous show. Live in Rio, and at Wembley. Of course, you can catch their set from Live Aid on the internet. But none of these, in my opinion, can match seeing these guys in 1974. You are seeing a primal version of Queen. They were just starting to become headliners in the UK, and they're hungry. They're out to show that they are one of the great UK live rock bands. They had just put out their third album, Sheer Heart Attack, so this predates Bohemian Rhapsody and A Night at the Opera and A Day at the Races. And this is the heavier and aggressive approach of one of rock's greatest bands, formative years. Brilliant stuff. Very bare in the way of stage setting, not too much crazy lighting, no props, but Freddie Mercury at his best. You can see that he has got the crowd in the palm of his hand during the show. Watch it, enjoy it. You will be mesmerized, even if you're just watching it on a computer screen. The great thing, before I forget, about the things that are available on Qello is that if they were shot in 1080, a P, the highest quality of the digital quality, they are available in 1080p. I mean, now we're up to 4K, so excuse that. But I'm saying 1080p full digital is available through Qello. That's really nice. Next one, talk about a band at their peak. Paul McCartney came out with his band Wings in 1976, toured the United States, the first time in the U.S. that a Beatle had been on a stage in 10 years. And it was also the first time, because he had toured Europe in 1972, and it was the first time that Paul McCartney returned to doing Beatles music live as part of his performance set. It is captured in brilliant fashion on the Paul McCartney documentary, concert documentary, Rock Show. It is really just beautifully shot, surprisingly high quality for 1976. It's been missing, quote unquote, for many, many, many years. It had come out on VHS and it was pretty sloppy looking. It had come out on Laserdisc, remember those? Also not in the best quality. But this time around, seeing it digitally, it's also, of course, available on DVD. But seeing it on Qello is just brilliant. What makes it interesting, too, is that it was recorded at the Seattle Kingdom, which is a gigantic indoor structure made out of cement. I do not know how they got the acoustics in that building to sound this good. But also the song choices, the performances themselves. This is the tour that was captured on the album Wings Over America, Paul McCartney's landmark 3-album set. But now you're going to get to see it on video, and it's so worth checking out on Qello. 1978, the Rolling Stones, again at a peak. They had just put out the album Some Girls, and they took that on the road. And their live show in Texas was recorded and filmed, and it is really one of the greatest Stones tours. They're so spot on. This one was filmed at the Will Rogers Memorial Center in Fort Worth on July 18th, 1978. Raw, energetic, just knocking it out of the park. If you like the album Some Girls, they include a huge chunk of the album, and of course a whole bunch of Stones classics. Mick is his strutting, off-the-wall self. Keith is his posing rock and roll god self. It's just an absolutely brilliant live performance, and catching it on Qello, you get to see it in all its brilliance. It only maxes out at 720p. It was recorded, in fact, on 16mm film, but wow, does it look great. And for the Stones, it's got to look dirty, or it's not the Stones. Okay, talking about peak performances again. Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen, basically, it was make or break time with a little album called Born to Run. Born to Run came out, was released to unanimous acclaim in 1975. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band went over to the UK, and they were being hyped as the band to see, and the stakes were really high. Well, this is Bruce Springsteen. He didn't let anybody down. These are some of the great performances of Bruce's career, and that's, obviously something to say. Thunder Road on this tour is just one of the most poignant and beautiful pieces that Bruce has ever done. Things like 10th Avenue Freeze Out just bring out the rockin', rollicking side of the E Streeters, and the whole show is just tight and tremendous. And the engineer that did it is a fellow named Bob Clearmountain, who worked with Bruce before and since, and he just knows the band. So he just does absolutely brilliant work recording it. There are certain parts of Bruce's live show, like the organ, start of a song like Lost in the Flood, or the piano work behind the song For You, and of course Jungle Land in all of its brilliance. And this performance, you catch all of the sort of, one reviewer said the operatic intensity of Bruce Springsteen and the band at their best. and it's right there on Qello. Definitely catch it. Again, most of these are available as DVDs, but this is the way for you to see them without even having to go. We love seeing you at the library, but you don't even have to come to the library to see them. You can use your library card and get into one of these digital databases and catch some of these great live recordings. I will be back sometime soon, and we'll talk about some of the documentaries available on Qello and some of the other things on RBdigitall. And for now, I hope you enjoyed this first move over to Digital Diaries from the Hoopla Diaries. And again, the service available through RBdigitall can be found at a number of libraries in the Nassau County area and throughout the country. So not limited just to Port Washington, but of course we're delighted that our Port Washington patrons can get to enjoy this service. So that's all for now for Digital Diaries. I'm Tony Traguardo, and again, hope to see you soon. For now, enjoy watching some great music. See you soon.